Durag Diaries, yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to Boardroom Talks, where we're here to discuss everything Spurs, the good, the bad, the ugly, and unfortunately, the Europa League, where we lost against Alphabet FC last week, and then drop points in the Premier League. Well, some will say pick up, some will say drop, depends which side of the coin you look at it. But to do this, I've got some very special guests in the building, some familiar faces. Well, all of them are familiar faces. If you don't know their names, you should get to know by now. Make sure you're following them up on their platforms. But first, but very not least, I think it might be his second appearance on Boardroom Talks, but not his second appearance on the channel. Looking to make more often. Man like E, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. I'm blessed, man. Thanks for having me on. I'm glad to be part of the show, man.
My pleasure. It's good to have you here. Then, of course, Mr. Box Office himself, Alex, here to crash it on all and inners. Luke, where are you? He's sat at our back signal and he's waiting. So please show your face. One day we're going to get that show done. How you doing, Alex?
Bro, like, I'll be honest with you, yeah? I was retired, bruv. Like, I was retired, bruv. I was just like sitting there, just like, because I was bored saying the same thing. Then I love Ange fans, bruv. I love them because I've now got energy, bro. Maybe because I went to the gym to bench, but now I've got energy, bruv. I've got energy. They've been talking so much rubbish, bro. They just been talking,
Yeah.
and it's not even just like talking. Just talking sake. It's talking, bro. Yeah, it got started. Now I've got energy, bro. And you're going to see me more on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV now, bro. So the mistake is they kept on talking. Now you've awoken the beast. The beast, which is Mr. Box Office, the main event. Yeah? That's all I've got to say. Back to you, Jords. I'm done. If you don't know, get to know. Good evening, gentlemen. I've only got started.
He's just got started. He's got started. The people have revitalized the energy and Box Office, and I love it because he's been a bit like down and out of it. Like I said, for the past month, he just sort of deflated and drained with Spurs. But before we get into any of that, obviously, literally the guy that started the channel here, first video, a familiar face, every single Boardroom Talks, he's here without fail. Spurs Kings TV himself, Ashmatic. What are you saying, bro?
That intro was crazy. Yes, my brother. Yes, my people. My kings. Big up. I big up the chat as well, man. Love every time, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna get into this boardroom chat. Alphabet FC, as you said, man. Let's kind of break it down.
But big up, yeah, man. Big up the chat. Let's just big up to Hyper. Big up to Jordan. Big up to the Right Show as well. And big up to the guy that showed his face. Man like Luke, Mr. Anjin himself. He's here. Make sure you're really tuned in because we've got someone who's got a lot of words for you today, Luke. So yeah, tune in. If you want a link, let me just send me the message. Maybe we can work something out and you can get you to respond to some points that are gonna come your way. But let's get straight into it. Off the back of the weekend, I suppose let's ask the panel: did we pick up a point or did we drop a point or drop 2 points? Was it a point gained or 2 dropped? How do you guys see it? Whoever wants to take it first.
Floor's yours, guys. I'm chilling.
Boy, go on, Box Office. Go on, say it off.
Say I've got loads of time to kill, bro. Go for it, bro. Go for it.
And I know you see the guys in the. I know you're moving mad. So what? We're talking about Bournemouth, yeah? Bournemouth. Yeah. Listen, I couldn't believe it, bro. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't believe we stole that point from them. I couldn't believe it. I'll be real. When we got that goal from Saar, I went to warm some chicken up because I was thinking, 2-0, game over, innit? I come back upstairs, I said, Raw, it's 2-1, what's going on here? Then I see Bearman in my WhatsApp group saying, Raw, was that a shot or was it a cross? Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, it was a cross. I think it was a cross. You know what I'm saying? And then man got the penalty, bro, the goalkeeper. He just did man a favor, innit? And that's how we salvaged that point. But before we get to all of that, brother, in the first few seconds, man like Romero, I don't want to talk too much, innit? Some people are saying he's a bit of rustiness. Some man are saying, right, that's just Romero, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened, bro, but obviously within a minute we've conceded a shot, and I think everyone inside that stadium kind of thought, "Oh, this is going to be a long day." Do you know what I'm saying? This is going to be a long day. And the wickedest thing is, it didn't happen once; it happened twice. Do you know what I'm saying? It happened again. Crazy. So, like, I would say Bournemouth. Really, those chances that they had, they should have been putting them away. So, if you want to be like critical to Bournemouth, that's the only thing we could beat them over a stick with. But in terms of Spurs, I just said, "Oh, listen, I don't know what we're doing." And the thing is, we like to play out from the back. Now, me personally, I'm not against the whole playing out from the back because some people say, "No, you can't play out from the back," blah blah blah. But when it's not working, and to repeatedly do it time after time after time, sometimes go along. Sometimes. I'm not saying every time go along. I'm saying sometimes. They did it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it makes it a bit more unpredictable. So they can't press us as much. But they knew, man. They knew we were going to do the same thing all the time. And that's why we were like the architects of our own kind of mess at the start of the game. Do you know what I mean? And then that's kind of what bred into that, the fans being a bit nervous. And obviously, box office is going to lay this down. I know. Yeah, I'm saying. What was it? 1 win in 10 home games? Brother, you can't make this up. 1 win in 10. Hey, and fans, let me know, bro. What's going on, man? I'm going to leave it at that because there's a lot more to go into. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much of your time, bro. 1 win in 10. It's crazy.
It is. Yep. It is definitely crazy. And like you said there, I think with Romero, there's some questions asked, a bit of leeway you could throw his way, but I'm gonna throw it at you, Mr. Box Office Pause. I knew he was gonna say something mad, so I just had to throw that in there.
No, we're professional right now. This ain't the calling show. This is professional business. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. Like I said before, yeah, right. People say, right, we had injuries. This is what the excuse I heard from Luke yesterday. Yeah, he mentioned Richarlison. How is that an injury, bro? How is that an injury, bro? So you count Richarlison's our injury, yeah, right? Okay, if we're gonna do that, yeah, I want the apologies for Vincent Janssen, bruv. The apologies for Vincent Janssen. Remember him who couldn't score for a barn door? Remember him? Yeah. I want the apology for Bergwijn. Yeah, yes, I bring up Bergwijn. Yes, yeah. Moira, Lucas Moira. Remember Lucas Moira? I want all these apologies for these players. If you're going to count Richarlison, that below average, Emil Heskey, yeah, and I'm sorry to Emil Heskey, yeah, because this guy should be out the door. I'm sorry. You should have seen how useless he was against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, yeah? He made himself look like a fool against Van Dijk, by the way. You know what I mean? He looked at it saying, get up, you fool. You know what I mean? He should have never got back up, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, get back off the floor, by the way, because that can come up, of course, to something else. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on. You get what I'm saying? But it's like the Bournemouth game is like for every single game I've seen before, right? And people say, "Oh, people," and I heard it yesterday in the podcast. "Oh, we're too short term. We need to think of the long term." Okay, the short term was Man City 4-0 away from home. What did he do? Go back to Ange Ball, yeah. Then what did he do after that? Which is not him, by the way. That was not him. That was not on him, yeah. Because if that's on him, he sticks with that system. He sticks with the way that we played defensively, counter-attacking football. Yeah, right. What's he do when he has 8 days off? Yeah, goes back to Ange Ball against Man United. We are lucky against Man United because Man United can't score a goal. I was there myself. Yeah, unfortunately. Before, brilliant. You know what? Before, process, brilliant. After, terrible. Yeah. We're lucky, yeah. And what do we do against Bournemouth? You ask me, what do we do against Bournemouth? Poor inverts, first goal. Look at all that space. You could count it. You could see it. It's like a fortune teller. It's like I had it's like I was Superman seeing the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only reason why we got back into that game because Bournemouth gave it away. That's it. Simple. Yeah,
I'd agree.
And then people say, and then people are saying, oh, we don't care about the league. Have the same energy. Okay, so have the same energy for the cups that we got knocked out of, bro. Have the same energy for the cups that we had, we got knocked out of. Yeah, the same team that got battered, yeah, by Alkmaar, who are below PSV, that Arsenal bantered, by the way, 7-2, whatever it was. And then people are looking at Arsenal, looking at their team, and we're talking about Arsenal. Tottenham fans, be humble, bro. Be humble. That's all I've got to say, and that's it. Yeah, and I've only got started.
Are you sending? Wait. Are you sending for me, box office? Because I speak about Arsenal a lot. I speak about rivals a lot.
Every Tottenham fan, bruv. Yeah, but every Tottenham fan, bruv. You know what I mean? Yeah, but if you want to take your receipts, if you want receipts, bruv, I'll give you receipts, bruv, any time, bro. Because Mr. Box Office is in the mood right now. Yeah, back to you, Jords. I'm done. If you don't know, get to know, and enough of crap.
No. I hear where you're at. I think I would definitely agree on the sentiment that it was. Well, if we're going back to what I said at the start, I think we gained 1 point. It definitely wasn't 2 points dropped because Bournemouth would look at it that way. 2-0 up, very fortunate to get back into the game. I mean, just taking it back for you, E. Lineups. Do you think that the lineup was the right lineup? Was you happy with the midfield that he went with? Talk me through it. What was your...
I'm be real. I don't care, bro. I couldn't care less about what the midfield. It just looks so dodgy in it. But at the same time, win, lose or draw, the game didn't matter in it. So at this point, I'm here for vibes in it. You know, it's almost like a requirement that I have to watch games in it. That's pretty much what it is for me. It's just keeping up attendance. So I see Saeed and Bissouma in the midfield. I'm just like, what is this, man? You know, that's pretty much the vibe. What is this? But I don't even know. Obviously, I'd want Maddison to play at the time, but I don't even know what would have like. Obviously, when Maddison comes on, he was decent in it, but it's just a thing of like what we got to play for, isn't it? It's like it just makes me see the team and be like, I don't care. Like Romero was starting, don't care. I don't. Like I just don't care. I'm happy Vicario is back. That's the one player I can say I'm happy is back. Because Kinski, oh my gosh, bro. I will never discredit this man enough for as long as he's at the club. This guy is horrible. This keeper is absolutely hot. He is one of the worst keepers I've ever seen in my life, especially when you compare it to how young he is. Horrible keeper, innit? But yeah, midfield wise, I knew it was a weird free, but I mean, I thought we were going to lose anyway. So the fact we even came back to draw, I'll give props to the players for that, innit? But don't care.
Bro, Maddison, even before Maddison, that midfield, no creativity, zero. And the manager
knew that was the main issue in the first half. Do we think that starting with that midfield?
You know what the manager thought? The manager thought, all right, them man go hard in the middle, innit? Pause, yeah. Them man go like...
go hard in the paint.
Yeah, they go hard. Men are going crazy. I said, yeah. Yeah. Let me get a couple of my donnies, innit? Oh, workman-like, obviously. Bissouma, he's meant to be like a tackle guy, innit? You know what I'm saying? Kinkski, more like Binsky, Stinksky. Anyway, then you've got, obviously, Bissouma. Then you've got Bentancur, innit? He's meant to be a 6 as well. So I know he's trying to get all the kind of hard workers in that midfield to kind of work together. But we've seen it before. We saw it didn't work against Liverpool this season. Last season, he tried against Liverpool. Last season, he tried against Chelsea. And he had some recent fixtures where he tried to play that free midfield, and we all said, "Why has he gone for that midfield? It's got no creativity." And he did it again. And like some people might say, he's rotating for the league, innit? The Europa. That's what it is. But bro, I guarantee you, he went to win that game, especially a home game, because his neck's on the line. That's a high risk going for Europa to rotate. Like he could have played Bergvall. I think he could have played Bergvall or Maddison, do you know what I'm saying? But he said, no, I'm gonna have Saw in Maddison's role, basically, because that's what it was. And then I'm gonna have and like, brother, when you saw that, I don't know if it was just me, I was just like, you know, the offer hand when he squeezed his hand like that. I was like,
the offer in the pocket. No, I get you on that, because when I saw that midfield, I was just like, there was so many questions. I was like, okay, so who's gonna play the 6 for one? What positions are the two other midfielders going to be playing? Because ultimately you haven't got, neither of those are creative players. None of them are good in the attacking third. I think Pap Sarr puts himself in good positions, and usually, again, he was deployed off the left-hand side, which was confusing too, because he plays his best football when he's off the right and he's linking up sort of with the right back and the right winger.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't make any sense, bro.
So many questions, but I suppose, look, because I don't want to be the guys that just bashing Ange, I want to try and give him some grace where it's due sometimes. Do we think that the fan base would have been mad or, wouldn't have been happy if he did start Bergvall Maddison after starting them midweek? Because like a lot of people, when we had the last boardroom talks and a lot of all the shows that us guys have done in between that time, the general consensus among Spurs fans is the league is done. It's meaningless. We need to put everything into Europa League and start to rest players to make sure we have fresh squad for the Europa League. So if that was his thinking going into the game, was that a bad lineup or bad midfield choice?
Fans, isn't it? I think everyone's a bit like, what's the word for it? Flaky, innit? Because people then changed the narrative and said, we need some form going into that game, innit? Because remember, we lost.
Yeah.
No, I didn't predict an AZ loss. I don't know about you, man. I thought we were gonna win. I'll be real. I'll be real. I thought ABC as easy as 1, 2, 3. AZ. I thought we would get the job done. I'm gonna lie, because we beat them already. But some man were nervous because obviously they did the thing against Galatasaray, and so people weren't sure. I thought, we'll at least pick up a draw at least, but we stunk it out. Lost. They had our numbers. They had our number, and then off the back of it's not even the result. It was more the performance. The performance, not a shot on goal, not even register. We didn't even lay a glove on them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where it kind of went a bit. Yeah, it went a bit wrong. And then so people needed to see something going into Sunday to give them confidence for this Thursday. Because remember, them man were like this on the bench. Maddison and Son. Remember, people lip reading what they were trying to say. Maddison's like, I don't know, was it same game, same play again? Why always the same play? So apparently, that had to be dispelled. And saw that. I reckon, and saw that, and he was like, you know what? I'm dropping Madders.
The problem is I have at the moment, right? Okay, with this whole thing, right, is that Maddison's our most creative player. Again, facts.
No, look at Jords, man.
We got guys going on about Richarlison again. Like
the difference was you had Richie. What do you mean, Richie?
Hey Ash, hey yo, I was getting ganged up on. It was a 3v1 yesterday in this cool show that Jords had, and now I got the main event here.
No,
ready to back me up in it. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about Maddison.
Listen, okay. I don't get your whole loving with Boba, by the way. I don't get your whole loving with Boba.
Oh, you don't like Thorfinn, the guy that's our best midfielder.
No, he's not our best midfielder. Again. Yes, we do this all the time. He does one little thing right, and then everyone says, "Oh, he's the best midfielder. Oh, he's got to do this. He's got so much talent." I'm sorry. Yes, he made a good shot. It was a good shot, and he meant it. Yes, but there's only little things I see from this guy. He's a rash player still. Yeah, that's not his fault. He's young. He's young. I'm tired of saying that people are young. Players are young. Yeah, but this is why we need experienced players. Not that that Juventus reject, and you know who I'm talking about. Juventus reject, Bentancur. Yeah, who's still Juventus reject in my opinion still. You know what I mean?
But you like Højbjerg. Wait, what are we doing here? You like Højbjerg. Højbjerg was statistically the most dribbled pass player in Europe at one point for that was across a whole season. You want this guy at the base of our midfield just running around like a headless chicken, literally Richarlison in midfield, and he's just all over the place.
So how much better Bentancur then? Tell me.
How much
at the moment, I don't see what Bentancur's been doing for the last how many years.
I think off the ball, he does. To be fair, as of recent, his best work has been off the ball. He's closing down, he's pressing. Off the ball, he loses the ball on the ball. That's you said on the. I said off the ball. He's off the ball work, and what he does off the ball is pretty much his best.
Why is our midfield so open then?
But but that's by design. One thing that we've all agreed on is that the midfield shape and structure is a problem. That's one thing we can all agree on, regardless of personnel. The fact that you have a number 6 and then 2 10s that are so far ahead, or 2 8s that are so far ahead, it's always going to leave the number 6, especially when they're not a specialized 6 and, you know, a world-class player like Rodri. They're always going to be left alone, and it's always going to be a problem. But when you're talking about Bergvall for what he's doing in this midfield currently, as the person that's playing in the 8, for one, he's covered the 6 role. Against Bournemouth, he done the number 6 role pretty well when Bentancur come off the pitch. In the 8, he gets all across the pitch. So he does what we've seen from the best of Sarr. Bergvall's been doing that. He gets everywhere, covering ground. On the ball, he's moving it forward. He's a risk taker. The only other player like that in our team is Maddison, by the way. We don't have risk-averse players. They're not willing to make those forward passes. As soon as he got on the ball, within 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure he made 3 or 4 forward passes. We didn't have any of our midfielders do that in 45 in the first half. You can't tell me you're not impressed by Bergvall. Maybe at the start of the season, when you first spoke about him, because I think the first time, I remember we was on the terrace and you went, I don't want to see Bergvall and Archie Gray and that rubbish. And then we went back and forth and I was like, nah. Fair, at that point, you had a point because neither of them had proven anything. But at this point now, in March of 2025, 2 of them have proven quite a bit. And Bergvall's been our most improved players. Outside of Jed Spence, Bergvall's been the most improved player.
What has he proven? What has he proven?
You know that,
at the moment, I still don't see what you're talking about when you're saying that he's done a few things right. But that's expected for a young player. He's enthusiastic. The guy's so rash. I'm waiting for a red card, bruv. I'm still waiting for a red card for this guy. He talks too much to the referee. He talks too much to the referee as well. Back chatting to the referee as well. So I know he's going to get sent off. Right? Someone's not telling him to shut up as well. Yeah. He loses the ball lots of times as well when he does his runs as well. So I'm sorry. I just think everyone, because he does a few things right. Oh yeah, he looks really good. Oh, he's our best midfielder. Yeah, great. Because Sarr is not a footballer. He's an energetic player. Yeah, right. Bentancur is Juventus reject, like I said, fell off the cliff. And Basuma, well, is Basuma. That's all I've got to say.
I think what it is that we've got profiles of players that like to take the ball and carry it or dribble or I think with Bergvall, he does a bit of that. He does have the pass, he does pass it forward. I think that's why fans do like him. He's not like a Maddison. I think you see Maddison, he's like our only player that can kind of pass from, the back end of the pitch, like inside that circle. With Bergvall, I think we've got too many players that like to take the ball and then carry it up the pitch. We don't have enough players that like to, and I think that's where people might not like Bergvall. And again, because some of his challenges are a little bit late sometimes, and he gives away free kicks, and he's a bit it shows his immaturity on the pitch at times. But there are fans that like players that can dribble, in tight spaces, beat 1 or 2 players, take it up the pitch with aggression, be brave on the ball. And I think that's what you're getting with Bergvall. And I think it's because he's so young. I think it's right. I think you guys got it right. I think it's because he's young. People are giving him more credit. And I think some people are like, well, who cares about that age? We've got players that, we need players that are ready now, kind of thing. Like this age is an excuse thing. But I think Jords actually just rates him. Forget the age. I think Jords looks at the players that we have at the moment. If you look at Sarr, you look at Basuma, you look at Bentancur, he's the best out of a bad bunch. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's his first season in the English Premier League, and the league he came from was a 2nd division Swedish league. Deep that. Do you know what I'm saying? So
the jump is 15 leagues, bro. The level is still crazy.
Box office is saying he needs to be coached, and I think we all will agree on that. Yeah, of course, 100%. He does need to be coached. Yeah, definitely. But also, he does need that senior figure around him as well, because it's one thing being coached in training, but being coached on the pitch is a different thing. When you're actually playing the game, you need someone telling you what to do as well. A bit of guidance. And if he's looking for Bentancur and Basuma for guidance, it's a bit of a mad one, isn't it?
It's tricky.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what sums up Bergvall, yeah? There was a play against AZ, yeah? He picks up the ball from deep, one of the only times he did it, and started doing a pass and moving it. I'm like, I was on stream when I do this. I was like, yo, Bergvall, I'm liking this. He then goes to do roulette and he forgets the ball. And we lose it. That sums up Bergvall.
But he just had a bad game against AZ. I'm not too sure why. It was a lot. And mentioned isolation. And I don't want to be that guy, but the passing was all over the place for that game. The pitch must have played a factor because it didn't seem like our team could string together 4 or 5 passes in that second half, especially the first half. Second half, it got a bit better. I'm not trying to be that guy, but it could explain some of the bad performances from the players on the
pitch. Like Miguel,
I'm sorry.
I said, over my dead body, we are not this great.
We have 8 days.
Over my dead body
to prepare for that game, and we're talking about the pitch. So we're not doing
I'm not making no excuses for the game or the performance or the result. But Bergvall had very good games leading into that game, and then after that game came on against Bournemouth and again looked really bright. But that game in particular, I just feel like everything he done went wrong. Like you're right. There was a few moments when he made poor decisions. He's sort of turning into space. He's getting poor passes. Everything just seemed to be not at the right pace. So I'm just saying it. I'm throwing it out there. Like,
no, I don't mean it. I didn't mean it like
maybe
that.
Maybe it was the pitch. It wasn't him.
That isolation. I mean, to be fair, yeah, I heard there's some Vaseline on the football in it. That's why he scored the own goal in it. So let's allow him for that as well. In it, I don't know what grown men are doing together with Vaseline, but I mean that's your player, not mine.
Slavery, but hey,
but no, the reason I brought up that play, yeah, is because it sums up how I feel about Bergvall. Like the work rate is there in it, but he ain't got nothing with the work. He ain't got nothing.
You can't tell me he's not got technique. He's literally one of our most technical players. If you just look at like,
but again, and this is what we were talking about yesterday. But this is what we were talking about yesterday. How much is that worth when we have Bentancur and Bissouma and Sarr to compete with, bro? But this is my ultimate point in it. Like,
no, but you're
when it comes to and this is why I like talking about football, Jords, because you don't use age as an excuse to bail players out. You know what I'm saying? Like you actually talk about their game in it, which is something I really like. But when it comes to Bergvall's game, like he has something about him, 100% he does in it. Like anyone just watching the game can see that. But he ain't got Premier League level kind of tech. Like he doesn't. Like he does all the right things. Sure, he has the work rate, but I mean, you're obviously gonna look better than you are, yeah, when you're with Bissouma and Sarr and Bentancur in the midfield.
You're saying this like Bissouma, Sarr, and Bentancur considered bad technical footballers. Maybe because Bissouma, to be fair, Bissouma's not even a bad technical player. Like before he came to Spurs, a lot of people would have been like, Bissouma's good technically on the ball. Perhaps Sarr's young and still fresh. Maybe not him.
Not since Bergvall's been here though.
But Bentancur definitely is. I feel like Bentancur's had a bad couple months, but prior to, I'd probably say even maybe just in this system, but
okay.
No, but maybe the last 3 or 4 months in particular, and obviously since that ban. But before that, Bentancur on the ball, especially last season, was one of our best players. Like,
I know, but then again, so was Bissouma for stretches of points. So was Bissouma for a little bit. But as I'm saying, like, what have you done for me lately, kind of thing, isn't it?
No, I don't agree with that. I don't think Bentancur's been that great at all, really. I think he's overrated so much.
He's had so many injuries, man. Prior to his injury, at one point, he was literally our best player.
He was good. He was good, but because he replaced Harry Winks, that's why we're getting all giddy about him. Let's be honest.
Like Luke says here, Bissouma is good on the ball. He's just his decision making and his mentality is just all over the place. Like he's actually a good technical player. Well, I don't think Bergvall stands out amongst our players technically. I think he stands out.
You can see at the moment with Bergvall that his awareness sometimes can let him down, just like the other players. Like, so tactically, spatially, when to make those turns. So he doesn't always get it right. Sometimes he does. And I think that's why people like his bravery, because he's the only player getting on the ball, trying to drive it forward and make things happen. Whereas the others aren't really doing that. They're just doing short pass more time. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think with Bergvall, what he needs to work on at times, it's not just his scanning rate, but his ability to kind of slow the game down a bit. And that's asking for something else. Do you know what I mean? Because I think
takes time, though. That takes time.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's what I'm saying. It takes time, but it takes coaching as well. So to slow, like there's times where I think Ange asks us to play 100 miles per hour, me personally. And the tempo is too high. So there's certain times when you need to kind of just put your foot on the ball, kind of slow it down, slow the tempo down, and be patient. You know what I mean? Because sometimes someone might make that run in behind you. Also, when receiving the ball, these man, not just Bergvall, other players are guilty of this as well. When I see Maddison on the ball, you know, when Maddison gets on the ball, he does a shift from left to right. He shifts and he's kind of turning on himself. Old school Scott Parker vibes. Yeah, he's just turning. There's certain times when he's not releasing that ball because these players are running away from him. No one's coming short, and football's all about angles. No one's running and trying to make an angle for him, because when you're playing football, it's all about the ball moves faster than the actual team. So if you make a little triangle, you can do a little 1-2 around a man. But we run in straight lines. No one's coming short. No one's coming at an angle. So Maddison can fight. And so that's what I mean by sometimes Bergvall, he needs to learn that as well more often, that to improve his game. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm being ultra harsh here. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I think he can do it, but I just think he needs a bit more experience around him. I think box office agrees with that, and I think you agree with that as well, Jords. Just a bit more experience around him, just to coach him on the pitch, to say, yeah, mate, calm it down a little bit, because sometimes he's a bit erratic. But I do like his braveness, and I'm not mad at his tech either. I'm not mad at his tech. Oh God.
Oh man, I think the standards are just in the mud for players to be like succeed at this. Like Odebear, he attempts to dribble. Like, he doesn't even have to get past his man. Yeah, he attempts to go past the man, and he's automatically the best winger at the club, fam. You get what I'm saying? The
no, you're right about that. With regards to Odebear, we're starving. We're starving.
Yeah, it's like we're just starving. So that's what I think it is. Like the youngsters definitely have something about them, and they got the potential, and it looks like they're working hard. They're gonna end up being good players, isn't it? But I just feel like we need food so bad that we're all right taking the reduced thing that's about to go off, in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how hungry we are for something.
I'm not even reading the best before date anymore.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Can I just ask something though? Based on what? Based on what they're going to be good players? Because I've heard this a lot from a lot of Tottenham fans over the past how many years.
When I say good though, I mean like 6 out of 10 kind of good, innit? Not like that, not that kind of level. Because like they'll be squad players. They'll be good squad players. That's really it.
But in my opinion though, the only reason why we're making a big dance about it is because we're not doing anything this year at the moment. Yeah. And let's be honest here. If you're saying they're playing well, where we are in the league right now,
I didn't say they're playing well. I said they're playing okay.
And there's like 3 of them playing well. Football's an 11-man sport.
Okay. Well, we can talk about that.
Spence, Archie Gray, and Bergvall all playing well at this moment in time. Maybe not Archie Gray, you can throw him out, but the other 2 definitely.
Well, we can talk about that. Because if you look at it from the game from when we lost 3 to Liverpool, 6-3 at home, right, to now, factually, in the form table, you know where we'll be in the form table, guys?
Where are we going to be in the form table, Alex?
17th.
Cold.
See? I'm sorry. I've upped it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Because people said I've got the intelligence to do facts, because facts don't do feelings, like I said. You know what I mean? But in the form table, we're 17th. And who was playing most of those games, by the way? Oh yeah, Bergvall and Archie Gray. I forgot that. Oh,
wait. How long is this form? Sorry, wait. How long is this form? I didn't even hear the amount of game.
Okay.
How long is this form that you're talking about?
I live for, bro. I love the rage.
I just heard the ending and it woke me up a little bit, because at first I thought you were just talking about.
That's good, man. You sleep.
I love facts.
No, wait.
Big up Servo every single time. Big up Servo.
From when was this stat?
Well, no, I'm just saying. I've got
no, but what was the stat? Read out the stat again.
Okay, so the
form table dating back to match day what?
Match day 17.
So 11 games ago.
To now.
Okay, so what was the significance of what the difference between the team was at match day 17 and the team now? Just
most of those youngsters were playing, weren't they?
From match day 17 onwards, you're talking about.
What was match day 17? Who were we playing on match day 17?
We were playing Liverpool.
Oh, the 6-3.
Oh, so from the 6-3. So you're trying to count. And this is where, and you talk about facts are not feelings, yeah? And sometimes this is how stats are manipulated. And it can be a fact. Stats are manipulated. Because this what we're not going to do is you're not going to base it from Liverpool, the 6-3 game, where we lost. Going into that game, we already knew we'd lost loads of players, injuries and so on. So we already expected the team to have quite a significant drop-off. No Vicario, no Romero, no Van de Ven. I think even at that
we're not doing Romero. We're not doing Romero.
No, we are doing Romero. Whether you like him or not, we are doing Romero because Romero was, and you like stats. He was statistically one of the best defenders in the league last season. So you're not going to come here and tell me we're not doing.
He's not the best defender this season,
statistically. Oh, but we don't. But we can only judge him off of the 10 games this season.
Who's our best defender? Who's our best defender? Davis.
Oh no,
Ben Davis.
I love this. I love this.
Davis. Don't even go here, bro. You know that's the truth. That's the truth. And you know, so no way. You know the truth.
No. We're not doing this. Ben Davies has not been our best defender. Why has Ben Davies? Where has he been the last 6 weeks? In fact, where has he been for the last?
He's been injured because of Ange's tactics. That's why
he's injured. He's injured.
Wait, Jords, who is our best defender?
Wait, when he returns from injury,
who's our best centre back?
I'm going to ask box office question.
They've all been injured.
When he returns from injury, does Ben Davies get into the team?
Well, yeah, no, he doesn't. No, but he should be in the team.
All right then. He should be.
But wait, just a minute. When we won 4-0, who was in defence, by the way? Who was in defence? I forgot that. Who was it? 4-0 against Man City. Who is it? Oh yeah, Dragerson and Davis.
Wait, does that also mean when we drew 3-3 with them last season when Emerson was at centre back? Should we play? Should we play Emerson at centre back then?
You might as well, Bob, because he's better than bloody Emerson. He's a better defender than bloody Rivera at the moment. By what we've seen today, who made the mistake for the first goal? Come on now.
All right, Romero the other day, we can sit here and adjust, and I think this season Romero's been poor. I can sit here and hold my hands up to that. Romero's been poor. Van de Ven, I would even say at the start of the season, he had a few good games. There was a few games I was looking at questionable. Definitely Crystal Palace. He didn't play the Brighton game. I don't remember. Or did he play Brighton? He definitely didn't play the Crystal Palace one. I know he played the Crystal Palace. He didn't play Newcastle. And I think there was another game in between that he didn't play. So he had a few bad games as well. I'm not going to sit here and say Ben Davies was our best centre back because Ben Davies has only played 8 or 9 Premier League games. He hasn't even played that many. It's like they've all played a similar amount of Premier League games out of those 3. If we're being honest, our best centre back's been Danso because since Danso's come in, I'm not saying he's been flawless, but I feel like Danso's actually been good. Like Danso he's suffered from playing next to different centre backs, different games, so he's never really built up a connection to any of them.
George, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that. So Danso's been okay, been good because he defends. Yeah,
he's a proper defender. He defends on the front foot. He gets behind his man.
George, take the credit for what is due. Yeah, don't get used to it though. Yeah, I'm giving you this credit, brother. Right? Just take it for what you're worth. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you for once. You know what I mean? So, but we agree a little bit. We still need to see a bigger sample size of him. I'm not going to go off on just a little sample size because we did this with Dragerson. Look what's happened. You get what I'm saying?
Don't say we did this. Maybe 1 or 2 idiots did this for Dragusin, but I think many people would have seen from his brief appearances last year, he's not it. On the ball, he was never good. He was never going to play or thrive in this system.
Bad profiling from
the only point where I could see Dragusin being very effective for us is coming off the bench in games where you need a third centre back, someone to see the game out. I'm like, okay, Dragusin can do that. If anyone watched him at the Euros, you'd see low block when Romania are getting pressed the fuck out of a net and they're just getting balls constantly put into the box. He's putting it away. He's getting rid of it. He's a box defender who can perform in a low block when he's got a few players around him. But outside of that, you're asking too much from the guy. I feel like one thing that we don't give him grace for is he is actually young. Like Dragusin is a young player. He come to us at like 21 years old. He didn't come to us as the end product or finished article. So I think there was a lot of expectation on him that wasn't right. I think it's fair to say that. But taking it back to your original point, Mr. Box Office, because I saw you started to go away. You started to talk about the midfielders and then you dodged it. But someone said it in the comments. Maddison. James Maddison, because I see you love to call out and pick out on every one of our other players, but you're always like, no, but James Maddison is the system. Oh, but James, what about James Maddison performance against AZ Alkmaar last week? What do you think of that? Because it was an absolute, and the fact, I'm sure you're one of these people as well. Don't drop a stinker like that and then go sulk on the bench and sit there, go this on.
Listen, right? There's two sides to this story. Two sides, yeah. There's a side where, yeah, he's a captain, right? He has previous, so he's got to stop being like that. You made a good point about, I think you made a point about what is it, Fernandes for Manchester United. He gets it, and he still stands up in big games. The same has to be for the same we have to say for Maddison. You can't be behaving like that. You still got to do your work and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You need to get into, you should be the experienced player, in the team, one of the main players in the team. But the same could be for Son as well. So you can criticize in that way, yeah. But at the same time, Ange, right, could play him on the left. He could play him on the left. You know what I mean? To try and, he hasn't tried that before. You know what I mean? He could have somebody more defensive.
Left wingers at this moment in time.
I would play him on the
right. No, but I'm just saying it could be a way of.
I get why you're saying it, because I said it earlier in the season. It could be an option, but with the players we have available now, you got Tell who could play off the left. You got Son who could play off the left. You got Moore who could play off the left. You got Odegaard who could play off the left. It doesn't really make no sense pushing Maddison into that position.
I know, but I'm just trying to think of another idea. You know what I mean? Because he's our creative.
What it is that you and Elijah are Maddison apologists, so you're trying to find a way to figure it out to work the system around Madders when Madders isn't turning up. Because if Madders was good enough, he wouldn't have let Kulu take his chain. Let's be honest.
I mean, to be fair, I did this for Kulusevski last season. I wasn't on YouTube, innit? So man can't have receipts when I don't upload videos. But I did the same thing for Kulu last year when everyone was saying, yo, sell him. I was like, nah, this guy is a top 3 player at the club. He's got all this thing. We're just not using him right. He's not a touchline winger. Like, that's not him. He needs to be attacking midfield, and he will cook. And now it's almost like the fan base is just on a 180 in it. From saying Kulu needs to be gone, he's not the guy. Now Kulu is heaven sent. Madders ain't the guy. He should be sold in it. Like, I've always maintained this. They both need to be on the pitch. Now Jords don't agree with that, and that's perfectly fine. But in my opinion, they both need to be on the pitch, and we should have a different coach who can bring out the best of them together, because they're so different. They play the same position, but they're so different in terms of profile and style of play.
How would you play them,
I played 2 10s.
2 10s. We did that.
Yeah.
I did play 2 10s.
That's why I said he's done that.
But look at the way Ange plays, though. Like, but look at he does that, like, obviously, and there's times where it works in it. But the way Ange wants to play, it's not gonna work, bro. Like, it's not gonna work. We need some actual, like, stability in the midfield, and in order to do that, we can't. Ange doesn't rely on stability in the midfield, innit? It's just we commit so many bodies forward, but at the same time, there's no one in the box to attack, and we're also light defensively. So it's almost like we're kind of in like a no man's land on the pitch. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Maddison, I don't expect Maddison or Kulusevski to be able to properly operate the way they can. Like, Kulusevski's been great, and there's times where he's had to solo squad it. But I can't expect that of the guy. Like, he's not Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's one man, he's one player. I can only expect so much from one person. And it's the same thing with Kulusevski, same thing with Maddison. That's why I was light on Kulu last year. I didn't want to sell him because I knew this guy was class. I knew he was 30. If the box office don't agree, I get that. I've definitely thought high of Kulu. I still considered him a top 3 player last year. It's just the fan base has done a 180 in it. It's almost like they want to go against these guys. They want to send them to war against each other because they both play the same position. Why can't we play 2 times, bro?
I don't rate Kulu.
I know you do. I know that. I rate Kulu.
Listen, there's 2 sides to it. I see both sides on Maddison, right? To be fair, right? I think that's a bit unfair, George, what you said. I do see both sides. I'm not here saying giving Maddison a pass.
Don't see both sides of Kulu, but you see both sides of Madders. I hear it.
No. Kulu's not.
This is what you call Madison sexuals, man. They give excuses for Madison. They want thing for Madison, and it's a different for Kulu.
Why do you say plural? Why do you say plural?
You know what it is? Just say it's because Madison, he looks good on the ball. It's because he can be an outside of football.
That's you for Bergvall, bro. I seen your burners on Twitter, bro. I made an SNN about it.
Yeah, I played Bergvall.
I've never rated Kulu. I've called in the Juventus region with the other guy.
Regular trips to IKEA, hoping they see.
You know what I mean? So I've never really rated Kulu, and he's never really got me. He works hard. He's a busy player. The thing is, there's a lot of busy players. Bergwijn's a busy player. Yeah. Was it Kulu? Bergwijn's a busy player, right? What is it? Kulu's a busy player. Runs with the ball a lot of the time. Doesn't do a lot. Sorry, not for me. So, I do think there's more output, and statistically, Madison proves by factually.
You can't do that because I can throw other stats at you. When you look at every other stat that's key to actually the overall game, yes, Madison has great numbers for goals and assists this year, but when you look at key passes, when you look at most chances created, when you look at big chances created, Kulu leads not just Tottenham, he leads the league in all of these. He's top 3 in all of these stats, by the way. Kulusevski, he's one of the best creators in the league this season, and this is the first season that he's been playing in the 10.
Based on
what? This is the first. Based on the stats, bro. Most chances are
Jords notice I never bring up GA when it comes to Madison.
No, you don't. No, you don't. But literally, when you look at most chances created, the top 3 is Salah, Palmer, Kulu. Kulu's putting himself in these conversations despite having no help a lot of the times, despite having an absolute dross of a front line. Tottenham have literally survived this season because I think we've got the most chances converted from big chances this season. And Kulu's created most of them. There's no surprise with that. Madders, I feel like the main problem outside of his GA has just been yes, he has really great moments in game. And yes, I feel like we don't have a player like Madison. I agree everything with you guys like that. But at the same time, Madison's problem has always been consistency. And look, just before we carry on, Luke has shown his face. Luke has shown his face. Big up to Luke for jumping on, man. I hope you're doing well, bro. There were some strong words aimed at you right at the start. Didn't like
that strong. It's not that strong. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go soft on you. I'm gonna go soft on you because I don't.
Oh my goodness!
No, because I don't like this. I don't like this whole thing about 2 against 1, 3 against 1.
No, it's nothing like that.
No, you're splitting there, Alice. I can't lie. It's shameless from a certain YouTube channel, isn't it? Shameless.
You know what I mean? No, we're not gonna do that.
But no, I think start off with
Is Jacob coming, by the way? Is Jacob coming on, by the way? Because he's an Ange fan.
Jacob was supposed to come on, but I think he might be sorting some things out, which is fine. We're here now. We do have Luke coming in the building, and I thought perfect timing because I did actually want to talk about the upcoming game we have against Alphabet FC this week, and whether I suppose there is trust and belief in Ange getting the job done in this game, and does that mean he can get the job done in the competition? Starting off with you, Luke, being the new face here. How do you feel for that game, and what changes do you feel like Ange needs to make in going into that game to ultimately get a different result? Because obviously last week was a mess.
The only way we win is if Madison's on the bench. No, I'm joking.
I
just wanted to see it. I wanted to see that.
Not falling for it.
I can see it being like a 2-1, 2-0. I can see it. The only thing is I've seen a lot of accounts say that they want to play Romero and Van der Ven, and I just can't see that happening together. I think if they both start, we need to be realistic. It could go to extra time. If you start Van der Ven and Romero, they both can't do 120. So therefore, you're probably subbing them both off. Then you're going into a match where you're going to have to then start subbing off both centre backs. It just don't make sense to me. So I think it'll be Danso, Romero, and then I think after probably 60, 70 minutes, then it will be Van der Ven on.
Yeah,
but I think the big thing is going to be the midfield. I know it's probably been like we've said it every game probably this year, but with Bentancur being out, I can't see him playing Gray. He's not going to play Gray there now, surely not, because he's not played him there all season. So therefore, I think it can only be Biss.
Do you think we win champs? Do you think we win Europa?
I don't think so anymore.
I could see us winning it, but I could equally see us not winning it. Yeah, I think by Son's comments after the game, it was as if to me, like I thought we would beat Alkmaar. I thought we'd be 3-1, 4-1, something like that. But I thought that from the run that we've been on, we wouldn't be in a position where we're thinking, oh, we just turn up and we walk them. And by the comments that Son made in the interview afterwards, it was almost like we're really shocked by this. And it's like, what? Why are you shocked by it? It's been happening how often now? So if they're going into it going, yeah, we'll just steamroll and we'll just walk all over them, then it will be a tough game.
So what are you still anging if we don't win Europa?
No, he's Ange in. Like I don't think you get Luke is he's running like he's trying to sell tickets at Ange in for people to join.
I'm asking because some people that Ange in, they're like, this is the last chance saloon. If we get knocked out, they're out. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm asking.
I think if we go out, then obviously that's a big dent. But I don't think it matters anymore. I think he's here till the end of the season, and if things don't change, then
past that.
No, I think if things don't change, if let's use Alkmaar as an example. If we play like Alkmaar for the rest of the season, then he's gone. Of course he is. But if we don't play like that, then I think it potentially comes down to what options there are in the summer. How far do we get? What are the circumstances of us if we do go out, for instance? Like if tomorrow we absolutely smash them, but it finishes 0-0 or 1-0, that's going to be different. And if we have we play the same as we did last leg. So I think a lot of it now is going to come down to performances.
Where I do agree with you, right, and don't get used to this, right? Okay, is that Danzo's got to play. Danzo's got to play, right? There's none of this Romero and Van der Ven, because we all know Van der Ven's hamstring is going to tick. We all know, yeah, because he's just going to go back to stupid handball again. That's where I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Because for me, if you've seen what's happened the last how many months and you haven't learned anything, you're going back to what you did before, you're not really learning, are you? You know what I mean? Not even the top manager of the last decade or last couple of seasons, who's won 4 titles in a row, Pep Guardiola, even adapt himself. So why is my man, well, he's not even my man, but he's yeah, manager.
He's my man. He's my man.
Yeah, your man. And yeah, pause. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, I want to be called like everybody else. But anyway, moving on. You know, do what he does. You know what I mean. So yeah, the midfield, that's a lottery for me because I don't rate any of our midfielders. Like I said, you even said it yourself. Agreeing with Mr. Box Office, you said it first. I'd rather have Højbjerg back in my midfield, and I'm still sticking by that as far as I'm concerned, which is embarrassing because I've been criticising him so long. I had to apologise to the Queen Ellie, if everybody knows the Queen Ellie, who supported her for so long. Yeah, and I do think we will win the game because they didn't score more goals when they should have punished us. Yeah, it was embarrassing because we had 8 games to prepare, and I watched them, and it looked like the below average of us. Let's be honest here. You know what I mean? So that's how embarrassing it was for me. Going on to the manager, I'm done with him. I was done about a long time ago for me. Firstly, because of the coach thing. Has he gone to do his show, by the way?
He's gone to do Spurs Kings TV. We're gonna send
Spurs
over
Kings
there
TV.
like
You should be subscribing to their channel, by the way.
We're gonna make sure you guys go straight over to that one because a few of us might be on there as well. But we're gonna wrap up here just on the preview in the last 10 minutes and getting a bit of the. It's good now. We got box office, Luke. Yeah. They get the time to go through, and I'm just gonna sit back with the popcorn. You know what I mean?
Verses in the middle of us. You got to do verses.
Yeah, but no. For me personally. Right, I didn't see what was so special about him, and I just haven't seen anything since. Now, I gave him a bit of a leeway because I needed to see the ball back him through bad times. But I think we're backing the wrong manager because he's just not a coach. No one's improved. And I picked this up last season. I think it was the middle, I think it was March. I didn't see anything improving last season. Then this stat came up, right? From the 6th of November, points per game since till March, we only had 1.3 points per game, right? Which is terrible. right?
Oh yes, unbelievable.
And that was from that 10-game run, which I said was a bounce a long time ago. I wasn't popular. Jords can count me for it. Ash can count me for it. I wasn't popular then, right? Now it's funny that I'm saying the same thing that everybody's saying right now. You know what I mean? Like the facts you kept on saying about the injuries, right? We had injuries last season with 1 game a week. 1 game a week. We were
not
struggling.
As bad as this. Not as bad as this.
But let's be honest here. When you look at those injuries, yes, I can count Vicario, right? I'm not counting Romero because Romero's been rubbish this season, right?
You can't just discount them.
No, you can't not count an injury.
You can't.
Well, I'm
linked to Real Madrid for a reason. Whether you rate him or you don't, he's linked to Real Madrid consistently. Messi thinks he's the best centre back in the world. He's won the World Cup. He's a player.
I think people would beg to differ on that one. I've got to be honest. Van der Ven's hamstring's always going to tick. We all knew it was going to tick.
Oh wait,
right?
So, Alex, do you think that the injuries are caused by Ange, or are you like whether you don't care about that?
I do think he has an influence on it. Yeah, because
I agree with that.
100%. Listen, right? Because by the way, Luke, right, to make this balanced, right, I wasn't on YouTube then, but I didn't like Pochettino when he started. But he persuaded me, right? If you watch Mr. Box Office TV, I explained it all there, right? I didn't like Pochettino, and the second season, then I started to say, yes, I see it, and his trajectory was up there.
Yeah.
From the first 10 games, his trajectory was down here compared to Pochettino. Again, never coming back to Tottenham. I don't think he wants to come back to Tottenham. His trajectory from Chelsea was up there. You see what I'm saying? You know, it was just up there. So it's just for me, and the whole thing, what he says, the way he's treated Jed Spence, and I'm sorry, that's not on him. That is not on him. And I've just, you can tell these things. You know,
Jed Spence has backed him several times this season.
Right? I know, but I think
so. You might not agree with his treatment, but Jed does. So. That says quite a lot for the player.
I think that's just on the man, bro. Because I think when people are saying about attitude problems, I don't like that because I know why they've said it. I can't say why on the channel. I know exactly why. Jules can tell me. He knows exactly why.
There was one manager where there's an apparent rumor that that's the case, but he's had 4 managers and no one's fancied him. As I said on the show yesterday, do you know what I mean? Like he went on loan to Leeds, and Archie Gray was the one that displaced him at right back. He then started sitting on the bench and started coming on every now and then. He went to Rennes. He was on the bench. And the whole thing about the Genoa thing, they had an £8.5 million buyout clause on him. They could have chose to take that. They chose not to, and they spent 35 million. Now, if you've got a player at Jed Spence, is he not worth 10 million, 15, 20 million? Easy. So even if they bought him for a season and sold him on, they didn't think he was worth it. Something had to click with him. No one's ever debated he's a player. But, and I'm not, when they say attitude, I don't think that, I think what they're saying is it's the determination to go and do it week in, week out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Go onto the training pitch and do it. And I think when you actually said yesterday, when you listen to the interview, I held him back because I wanted him to prove something. But then the following sentence, he said, everything is on Jed here. This isn't on me. This isn't me doing a master plan. What he's saying is, if Jed didn't work hard, Jed wouldn't be there. That's it, finished.
That's why I'm saying it's on him. That's why I'm saying it's on him. You see what I'm saying? This is where I have my issue with Ange. He's not a coach. He's not a coach, and I think we're better with coaches than managers. And this is where I have my issue with Ange. He hasn't improved anybody, and this whole thing and the thing is though, the thing that really got to me, the thing that I think summed it all up, and I think this is where a lot of people that are Ange out right now, yeah. Man City, right? We win 4-0, right? The best thing that we were doing was we were counter-attacking. We are suited counter-attacking style, right? Right. I think initially when we, I think it was last season, the first 10 games, we all noticed we need to play a back 3. We need to play a back 3 with wing backs, 3 midfield, double pivot, because I think Bentancur or Basuma would suit that better, right? Which is what we did against Man City, right? And we won 4-0. The last game against Brentford, we did the same thing, right? But we don't go straight back to Ange ball. right? And we're struggling again, and you're using up all the energy again. You see what I'm saying? And these players are suited to more counter-attacking style, to adapt.
But
You see
you've
what I'm
brought
saying?
in the reason why we've brought Ange in is because of what he does. It's the same with Man United and Amorim. We haven't brought him in to play 3 at the back because that's not what he does. So therefore, whether we agree that he should have been appointed or not, that's a different thing. And I agree, we're much better suited to a 3 at the back. We've got 2 wing backs. We've got some very good centre backs. So I agree with that. But that's not what he was brought in to do. Why would you? It's like you getting a new job and then just saying to you, right, I know you used to do this, but do something completely. No, that's not what I'm used to doing. So whether he's got the squad to play the ball he wants, that's one question. But all of the people you've named Bissouma, Benton. He didn't sign any of these players.
But he
that's
kept them,
that's how big of a job. But you can't you can't just get rid of players. Like Spurs have been terrible at getting rid of players.
I suppose just to make it a bit more of a better question is going back to what you said there, Alex. Do you think there's been any players that Ange has particularly improved within his time through coaching, like apart from the young players?
No, I think it's very easy to say that now, but I think if you go back to the start of last season, no one realised Udogie could do what he could do. Everyone was calling Udogie best left back in world last season. Now all of a sudden he's had it. So I think he improved him. I think Verival's improved. I think Vicario's probably got better with his feet as well. He looks better on the ball. Who else has improved? You can't really argue with Archie Gray. You don't really know what kind of level. And then everybody else has just kind of come into the team. So
I don't agree with Berval. Berval was just work. He's just worked hard. He's just busy.
I think he's leveling up through the natural progress. I feel like with young players like him and Archie Gray, they're naturally going to improve. Whether it doesn't matter what managers there are because the age that they're at, they're just naturally.
Udogie was doing the same thing. Udogie was doing the same thing he was doing in Italian football, as far as I'm concerned. And Kulu, if you watched him at Parma, he was doing the same thing at Parma. So I don't see it.
People were trying to. You even said it. Was it yourself that said that everyone? Oh no, it was the thing. He was saying that everyone was trying to sell Kulu last year, and there was shouts for that.
Yeah, no. Listen. He's gone back to the form that he was back at Parma. He hasn't improved. Like, no, listen, he's a good player.
That's not true, man. I don't even want to go back around there. I don't want to go back there, Alex. But Kulu's definitely improved.
No, he hasn't.
He has improved.
No, I'm not having that one. This is what we have to disagree on that one because I don't agree with him as much as I have. You know what I mean?
The reason he's improved might just be because he's moved his position. It might not be because he's physically improved anything, but
he was doing that at Parma. That's the thing. I watched him at Parma. And he's doing the same thing. He's just gone back to the form that he was at Parma. If he was moving to another level, it's like, for instance, when you saw Gareth Bale, for instance, that's improvement. You see what I'm saying? Improving.
Yeah, not many people go from being that to that. There's not.
No, but I'm just saying there's a level to this conversation. You see what I'm saying? When you see what Dembele did, you see what I'm saying? What Pochettino with Dembele, improving.
But you are talking about very special players.
I know, but the way that this is the thing, this is the point I'm making. There's a difference right now at the moment. It's like when I'm seeing, you can see it, and it's evidence. At the moment, I just look at Kulu. He's only gone back to the form that he was when he came to Tottenham. It's just that he's in midfield now. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's not. Listen, we can agree to disagree on it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
make your point because I want to. I don't want to take up the stream, but go on, make your point about it.
No. As I said, with Kulu, I think he has improved. I think there's no way when he first signed for us, there's no way people were talking about player of the year shouts and things. And before the injury crisis, that's what he was doing. I mean, you had all of the commentators on the games literally saying that he's their best player every single week, and he was never that level. He could show it, but he weren't showing the consistency. He weren't showing. I actually think he's become a bit of a leader as well, which is obviously growth in him. And I think if he's putting in that sort of, I don't think he's ever reached the numbers he's reached this year. I think he's reached better numbers this year than he ever has done. So that further proves. And he's actually, you could argue he's potentially playing further back because he's playing a little bit more in midfield as opposed to on a wing. So I think he's definitely improved. I see Jordan said Ange has never improved Udogie, but I don't see it. People were shouting for Udogie to be like one of the best left backs in the world. There was
I wasn't doing that.
I'm not saying everyone, I'm not saying you personally, but there were people that were saying that Udogie looks unbelievable. And Udogie was a wing back, and he used his game in Italy was very much athleticism, get up and down the wing, get the crosses in. It wasn't to roam into the 10, which is what Ange made him do. So I think it's really easy at the moment now when everyone's in bad form to be like, oh, who's he improved? I think if
even when we were in form, I still didn't rate it. I still didn't see it. Listen, I'm a very harsh guy with my team right now. You know what I mean?
Very. Don't say right now. You've always a harsh.
Yeah, I've always been. But like, I just don't see it. I don't see it, mate.
I understand.
And on the, I just want to ask you a question because I need to ask this question.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, what was your prediction? Where we're going to end in the league?
I said 6th, maybe 7th.
Same.
When I look at, I know that they've been struggling and everything, but when you look at the teams that are in front of us, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, City, they're all better than us. Chelsea's squad is unbelievable. As soon as someone goes in there with a bit of sense, which Pochettino showed at the end, he started to get that team rolling and playing well. So that's 5 that are better than us instantly. And then we're in the same mix with a Newcastle. I thought Villa would drop off this year because they was in the Champions League.
Well, they would as well.
So
they've been really good.
Yeah, so when you look, I'm not far. We're probably 10 points off of where I thought we'd be. In terms, I thought we'd have more points.
That's a sensible prediction because I would say around 8th to 7th because there was, if you saw the predictions that were at the beginning of the season from some people that are Ange fans, they were saying 3rd. 2nd.
No, I don't know about. I don't think I saw anyone say 3rd or 2nd. I'd need to see the receipts because even me being a positive fan, I said, yeah, we probably finish around 5th. And then after like the first 5 games, I was like, nah, there's no way we're probably gonna finish.
There were people saying
3rd would have been a stretch. 4th, maybe.
People said we had a better squad than we had last season. And I was like, nah. And then,
so I suppose let me ask you though, Alex. Then, obviously, with this game, he's at Alkmaar. Luke, you said you think 2-0, 2-1. Obviously, a 2-1 won't be enough, so you just think that we'll get through the tie, though. Ultimately, you think we're going to get through?
I think if they go in with the right attitude, then yeah, I think we get through the tie. I think if we go in with the attitude we had against them the first time round, the first leg, then we haven't got a chance.
To be fair, even that first game we played, it was too tight.
That's why I also think that Maddison and Son, and I do agree with everyone what they said about having such a non-creative midfield. I think the whole idea was we get to 60 minutes, we bring on Son, we bring on Maddison, bring on a bit of creativity and try and nick the game against Bournemouth. I think part of that was also thinking these guys need to be on it on Thursday. So it could almost be a little bit of, I'm going to drop you. Because if you notice as well with Maddison, he seems to be like you've got to test his attitude all the time. It seems like you've got to drop him to get a reaction. So it wouldn't surprise me if Ange thought, well, I'll tell you what, let's drop you after giving it on the sideline. Let's drop you for that game and then show me why I'm wrong on Thursday. And then, do you know what I mean? So that's why I think that them 2 were dropped or rested, however you wanna call it.
First. Alex, do you think we're going to get through the round? Do you think we get through the time?
I stick by what I say. I think because Alkmaar didn't score their chances, I think it's given us a lucky opening. So I think we'll get 2 goals. So that'll make it 2-2. No. Was it
2-1?
2-1. Yeah, I think 2 goals, but we may concede. So it'll be 2-1. I think
could potentially go to extra time. Then you think
extra time, and then I think we might get the winner because we're at home.
That's why
I'll be honest.
I wouldn't play Porro neither.
Yeah,
Porro. I think Porro would be a good option off the bench. I think that when Maddison's not on it, Porro's the only creative outlet. So I think if we go a bit more solid in defence, so I'd have Spence, Danzo, Romero, and then Udogie. And then after 60, 70 minutes, if we still haven't got that goal, he's someone you can bring on. Whereas if we say add Spence at left back and you need to go for a goal, would you then go from bring Udogie on? Do you know? So that's why I think the centre backs need. I think if he plays them 2, I think we could struggle. It could be a masterstroke because he could play them 2. We could concede no goals, score 2, and then we go through. But I just feel like with that possibility of extra time, they can't play together.
And then what about the front line? Because for me, I think that's the biggest question. Who do we start? I think Solanke's obviously nailed on in the middle, but obviously we saw Tell dropped the pass in the last game against Bournemouth. Do you think Tell gets deployed off the left? Does Sonny start? Does Brennan Johnson get another start, which is crazy?
I think that's the three.
I think Brendan Johnson will start on the right, and then I think they're going to put Alderweireld there possibly because he needs somebody that's going to run at defenders. Because I don't think you can put Son and Johnson in the same team. You can't do that because then you've got nobody.
I think Tell or Son will be on the right.
He did say recently that he recognizes Tell after playing him down the middle for so many games. It's like, I think Tell's better off the wing. That's where he's more suited to play. That's where he's used to playing. So it'd be nice to see Tell deployed off the left or off the right, whichever side it is. I think Sonny will start. That's one thing I will say, especially because Sonny didn't start at the weekend. Sonny's nailed on starting.
That's where my concern is, because if you've got Sonny, right, who's not a winger as far as I'm concerned, then you got Johnson, who's just a below average Raheem Sterling, because he just goals hangs as far as I'm concerned, right?
I'm not going to allow to take a couple of them tomorrow, Thursday though.
No, but you need to supply him, Luke. You need to supply him. You know what I mean? So in the box, so he can actually goal hang. You know what I mean? If he doesn't do that, you might as well just have. If I'm going to criticize Haaland when he doesn't score goals as above average John Carew without the goals, I'm going to criticize my man Johnson. You know what I mean? I'm going to criticize him. You know what I mean?
John Carew one kills me.
I know there's levels.
Nah, man. You know what it is? It's because I know there's some kids in the chat, like these 16-year-olds. They don't even know who John Carew is, bruv. They don't know these Premier League man. Yeah,
I know there's levels.
They don't know about John Carew, but
but it's just like,
I get what you're trying to say, though. I get it.
Without the goals, because he's a very good goal scorer. We're not going to be silly here. You know what I mean? But my point is, it's just like don't start with the Kane thing, because that Kane thing, bro. No,
don't even get box office started there,
because you know the Kane thing. That's an excuse again. You know that's an excuse.
It's a whole stream for box office to start on that
one. But yeah, it's no. I just think I think that at the moment, I think that's where we're at the moment for me, because I think you need somebody who's going to dribble the ball, so you can cause a little bit of problems. The only problem I have at the moment is they're all busy players. There's no one really that can really go past their man, because he's got something about him. I'll give him that. I'm not going over the top like certain people are, but he needs coaching to really
final ball, innit? He needs to get that final ball.
He's very busy, and he does a lot of, like,
That's what I say about Doku. He does so much but does nothing at the same time. Like, he's just
nothing.
Just there, just doing a lot of jinks, a lot of bounces, a lot of sides, like little incidents.
He could potentially be very good, because he does remind me of Aaron Lennon, but it's just potential. And like I say, I'm not a potential guy anymore. I'm done with this potential anymore. You know what I mean? I need to see the full package. You know, okay, don't take it like that. Don't take it like that.
Lucky
I said full patches, and I realise now, you can say it like something else, But it's just, I think the only question I have at the moment is that midfield, because that midfield is really concerning me at the moment, and I'm sorry. I don't
think Maddison's starting, don't we? So we've all got Maddison. So then it's the other two. I guess it's
the other two, and I think
it's Sarah, Basuma, Bergvall, and that's kind of the only ones.
I think you've got to go with Sarah and Bergvall. I see.
I don't really want Sarr and Bergvall in the same team. I think you need somebody because I worry about Bergvall again. I do worry about Bergvall.
But do you trust Basuma more than you worry about Sarr and Bergvall? That's the bigger question.
I don't trust any of them.
I know, but that's the point. Do you trust Basuma more than you trust the Sarr or Bergvall? I'd rather throw, for one, I think Sarr and Bergvall, two young players, rather put their necks on the line at this moment in time.
It's such a difficult one.
Done as a Spurs player.
It's such a difficult one, because I just don't rate any of them at the moment. They're just not with the system.
What about you? Who do you start?
I think so. If I was picking my team, then I would have Spence at right back. So therefore, I would probably pay Bergvall, because I think that when Sarr plays there, he has got the legs to be able to cover Pedro Porro if he goes forward. And that's why I was surprised that actually Sarr played on the left. Yeah, I called
team on the left.
I called that team but I didn't have Bentancur, but I didn't have Basuma in it. I called Sarr playing there instead of Berval because I felt that with Porro on the right, he could offer that bit more protection. Almost, I remember the Musa Sissoko when he used to play
for
centre
Mourinho,
midfield but right wing back at the same time.
I
felt like he could do that, but I think because if we go with Spence there, I don't feel like we need that extra cover. So for me, it'll probably be Basuma, Bergval, and then Maddison.
First, that's
it's a difficult one because I do. There's a risk there for me because there's a lot there that there's lots of enthusiasm with those midfielders, but at the same time, I think if you got Maddison there, you got that creativity that's important, but at the same time, there's rashness in there, and that in European games you don't want rashness in there. You don't want it because one wrong move. Because like I said before, I think you put something in the chat, Luke. I'm glad that's why you come on because sometimes in the chat you can't really get your point across sometimes. But you said about him, he's played a lot of games, Berval. But
36 games and not red yet. But I know what you're saying. He is rash. I'm not
he was lucky to not get a red card against Liverpool in the first leg in the Carabao Cup. He should have got red carded there.
The first one he shouldn't have got a yellow. That's the point. He shouldn't have got the yellows, and the second one was just like evened itself out. Let's be honest.
But in fairness, I understand I do think he's got a bit of rashness in him. But then again, I would flip it the other way and go, as soon as we got rid of the rashness and the enthusiasm from Dele Alli,
Luke, that's exactly what I was going to say. When you take the tenacity away from certain players, they're just not the same player. Like Dele Alli looked the complete different player when he lost that.
If someone said to me I could have Dele Alli for 38 games a season, or I could have the Dele Alli of old, but I could only have him for 28. I'm taking that 28 all day long.
I think the difference is he had Dembele behind him, didn't he? He had Vernyamba behind him. He had somebody to.
But it's just the tenacious, though. The tenacious part about his game when he lost that bit, that little fight, that little extra effort, we saw that one of the things that was questioned about him at the back end of his Spurs career was why is he not running? Why does he look out of place? Why is he not putting in the effort?
But this is where my concern is, though. Because when you take this is my concern is can he mature into that player that can do, hold on to the ball, just put his foot on the ball and do those things. And I don't see him learning in that sort of thing. You see what I'm saying? This is where, but this is our issue.
It's one of those things where it's like what you said before, and one thing you've maintained all season is the coaching, isn't it? So you can't really get onto a young player if they're not being coached the right way, and if he's not progressing like he should, because you can clearly see the talent, then I think there will be questions over time about whether he's being coached and used in the right way. But at this moment in time, it's definitely too early because Bergval has improved throughout the season. And that tenacity is probably one of the things that a lot of people should like. At the start of the season, people were saying he's too nimble. He's not going to adapt to the physicality of the Premier League. I think physically are one of the things that people can't question about his game because he goes into every challenge. He never backs out of a challenge.
When at the preseason friendly, when Gray and Bergval both played against Munich, and it was like, wow, they are so far off it. And then now it looks different to me, that they look like different players. But I do think that I've been saying this from day one, we haven't got experience in there. We haven't got experienced heads. That when Archie Gray played the other week and he came, they was at their interview afterwards, and he's sitting there going, Ben Davies literally coached me through the whole game. Sometimes it ain't just about what they can do. It's sometimes if we can get someone in that can play with, like at the moment, Berval's learning off of Basuma, who's smoking balloons. Like what sort of like how what's he learning from him? Do you know what I mean? Like what is he?
The problem is, Luke, with that what you just said, right? Okay, it's great you said that because at the beginning of the season, when there was RTKs coming up, Archie Gray in training, Berval in training, we don't need any midfielders because they look good in training. That's what I heard. And now we see what happens. I said, okay, we wait and see, because that is the biggest mistake made.
We've said that that's happened under every single manager for the last 15 years. Like this is what I mean. There's a lot of stuff that's being caught up, and there's a lot of anger towards the club, and I completely get it, and I'm in that group. But I think sometimes the anger is being put towards the manager. But when in fact you need to really start looking at if this is the owner side. Like people keep saying, oh well, he shouldn't have accepted the players. He said he's happy with all the players. He did. He also said he wanted a centre back, and he also said during the transfer window, January 1, he wanted more experience. He didn't get either of those. When he comes out in an interview and says he wants this and he doesn't get it, that means he's not backed. Because if he was backed, he would get what he wants. And that's
I do agree with that. I will say I do agree with that.
I've got to disagree with that because he did say whatever signing comes in, I agree with. He said
but what I'm saying is if someone comes to you and says, right, we're going to sign the top 10, 15-year-olds in the world, and you go, yeah, that's great, and then they don't sign anyone else, that's not going to help you. So he's approved everyone. He thinks everyone that's come in is good. But when you say how many of them are actually improving the starting 11, and I think that's why I got a little bit hyped at the start of the season. I was like, we are gonna do top 4. We're gonna smash this. And then when I started breaking down a team and picking my team, I'm like, Solanke's the only one that actually comes in and improves it. And I don't mean
a lot of Spurs fans were like that at the start of the year, innit? Once you got to a point where you can evaluate the window, there's only one player. I think it's fair to say many of us going into that window expected at least 3 first-team players to improve that 11, and we only got 1. And it was just like
there was players out there, right? There was a guy that came from Celtic, went to Brighton. I can't remember his name now. Right? O'Reilly, right? Homegrown, right? Could have got him, right? And look how much they spent on him, Brighton. You see what I'm saying?
I think there were so many options out there, though, Alex.
So many options. There was one from Juventus. I can't remember his name now. Locatelli, that's it.
But this is the thing, though. I don't think we can, like Luke says, we can't look at the manager because even now, let's have it right. I don't know if you guys have seen all the rumors. Tyler Diblin, Nico Pat, they're still looking at more teenagers. It's like apparently we're still targeting more youngsters when this team can't get any younger. Our average age is like 22, 23. It's like they're trying to bring it right down to an average age of 20, 21. And then we're just going to be stuck with a team full of kids.
The worst part about that is we are looking to move some of the experienced players on as well. Like, yes. I mean, I'm hearing from the fans mainly Davies should go, Ben Davies should go. So there's your experience head. Basuma should go. A lot of fans are on Bentancur at the moment. And I'm like, there's literally going to be an under-21s team here. And there's a reason why no one's ever played an under-21s team, because you ain't going to do anything with that. If you haven't got that experience, you just won't do anything. So I agree. I think there's so many. I think our squad's in balance still now. I think someone said it earlier. We've probably got 25 left wingers and 1 right winger, and we're kind of just pushing people out there who can kind of play there. But we don't have a right winger, and I think that's the problem. Unless you're a Man City and you're going out and you're signing 1 star player that's going to improve your 11 every summer, that's great. When you're in Spurs' position, when we could go out and easily sign 5, 6, 7 players that would improve our team instantly, and we don't do it, it's just not. The only time where I've accepted that was the Poch team, because I always felt that we could only go and get to improve that team. We needed to go and sign the best of the best, and we couldn't pay the wages. We couldn't pay the transfer fees. So that was difficult to improve that first 11. But right now, there are so many players out there.
That's the stories we were sold, though, Luke. Anyway, they told us getting the new stadium is going to allow us to pay these wages and pay these prices, and still, we're not competing. But yeah, look, guys, we are going to end there because I'm trying to send the rest. We're going to go over to Spurs Kings TV. I've got to jump on over there, and we're going to send some of you guys over there as well. So make sure you stay into this live. It's going to take you straight over to Spurs Kings TV. Big up for everyone for tuning in. If you want to subscribe to everyone's channels, they are in the description. It's obviously Spurs Kings TV for Ash, who was here earlier, Elijah, Too Much of E. You've got Luke, who just started his channel, Spotlight on Spurs, and then Mr. Box Office TV for Alex. If you don't know, get to bloody know. You know them way there. But big up everyone for tuning in. Make sure you've liked the video if you haven't already. Big up to the guests. It's been another Boardroom Talks. And yeah, man, 2 weeks. We'll be back Tuesday, 9 p.m. Make sure you're there. We're out.